The virus goes viral. So does the concern of it too. On a global scale, the world is now terrorized by a microorganism. Size is not what matters. It's a virality. How viral it is what matters. The viral hunt is going on in a feverish pace. Let's pray we will thrive and be happy again. Happy news ensues again. News Analysis, a weekly magazine on current affairs. And before we begin with today's headlines, we'll have a special headline for the day. The UK has officially left the European Union after 47 years of membership and more than 3 years after it voted to do so in a referendum. The historic moment, which happened at 23 hours GMT, was marked by both celebrations and anti-Brexit protests. Candlelit vigils were held in Scotland, which voted to stay in the European Union, while Brexiteers partied in London's Parliament Square. Boris Johnson has vowed to bring the country together to take us forward. And now we'll go to the headlines of the week. Coronavirus worldwide cases surpassed Sars outbreak in 2003. Police kill hostage taker and his wife beaten to death in Farrukhabad, UP. In the US, major blow for Democrats in witness battle in the Trump impeachment procedures. Bushfires of Australia, state of emergency declared for Canberra region. In the Kachaturian sisters patricide case, Russia may drop murder charge. A holiday camp for the tamed Indian elephants. Huduma number, Kenya court horse biometric ID over data fear. Now we'll go to the stories in detail. Coronavirus worldwide cases surpassed Sars outbreak in 2003. The number of coronavirus cases worldwide has surpassed that of SARS epidemic, which spread to more than 24 countries in 2003. There were around 8,100 cases of SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, reported during that outbreak. But nearly 10,000 people have been infected with new coronavirus, which emerged in China in December. The number of deaths stands at 213, all in China. That's far lower than the 774 people killed by SARS. On Thursday, the World Health Organization (WHO) declared a global health emergency over the outbreak. It said there had been 98 cases outside China, but no deaths. But on Friday, 2 cases of the virus were confirmed for the first time in the UK. Most international cases are in people who had been to the Chinese city of Wuhan in Hubei province, where the virus originated. However, in 8 cases in Germany, Japan, Vietnam, and the United States, patients were infected by people who had traveled to China. The SARS virus, which was also a type of coronavirus that originated in China, spread to 26 countries in the early 2000s. The new virus has spread to fewer countries, and while more people have been infected globally, it has resulted in fewer deaths. On Wednesday, the number of confirmed cases within China surpassed the SARS epidemic. SARS were also estimated to have cost the global economy more than $30 billion. But economists have said the new coronavirus could have an even bigger impact on the world economy. It has forced global companies, including tech giants, car makers, and retailers, to shut down temporarily in China. Why is this outbreak more difficult to stop than SARS? The answer is not down to China, The speed and scale of the country's response to this new virus is widely considered to be unprecedented and the best perhaps. The difference is the way the virus behaves inside the human body. SARS was a brutal infection that you couldn't miss. Patients were contagious only when they had symptoms. This made it relatively easy to isolate the sick and quarantine anyone who might have been exposed. But the new virus, 2019 nCoV, novel coronavirus, is harder to spot and therefore harder to stop. From the virus perspective, it has a far smarter evolutionary survival strategy than SARS. The best estimate is only 1 in 5 cases cause severe symptoms. So instead of infected people turning up in hospital, you have to go and find them. And we are getting detailed documented cases of people spreading the virus before they even have symptoms. There's a tendency to focus only on how deadly a virus is. But it is this, in combination with a virus' ability to spread, that determines its true threat. A confirmed case in Tibet means the virus has now reached every region in the mainland China. The central province of Hubei, where nearly all deaths have occurred, is in a state of lockdown. The province of 60 million people is home to Wuhan, which is at the heart of the outbreak. The city has effectively been sealed off, and China has put numerous transport restrictions in place to curb the spread of the virus. People who have been in Hubei are also being told to work from home. China has said it will send charter planes to bring back Hubei residents who are overseas as soon as possible. A foreign ministry spokesman said this was because of the practical difficulties Chinese citizens had faced abroad. The virus is affecting China's economy, the world's second largest, with a growing number of countries advising their citizens to avoid all non-essential travel to the country. Voluntary evacuations of hundreds of foreign nationals from Wuhan are underway. The UK, Australia, South Korea, Singapore, and New Zealand are expected to quarantine all evacuees for 2 weeks to monitor them for symptoms and avoid contagion. Voluntary evacuations of hundreds of foreign nationals from Wuhan are underway. Australia plans to quarantine its evacuees on Christmas Island, 2,000 kilometers from the mainland, in a detention center that has been used to house asylum seekers. Some of the recent developments are: Singapore closed its borders to all travelers from China. Italy declared a 6-month state of emergency after 2 Chinese tourists in Rome were diagnosed with the virus. Thailand confirmed its first case of human-to-human transmission inside the country. Mongolia suspended all arrivals from China until 2nd March. It also bans its citizens from traveling to the country. Chicago health officials reported the first case of human-to-human transmission. Russia decided to close its 4,300-kilometer far eastern border with China. Japan raised its infectious disease advisory level for China. Some 250 French nationals were evacuated from Wuhan. India confirms its first case of the virus. A student in the southern state of Kerala from a town called Trichy who was studying in Wuhan has been confirmed, it says. Israel banned all flight connections with China. North Korea suspended all flights and trains to and from China, said the British ambassador to North Korea.